Coming up next on Wall Street Warriors.
We have the USDA crop report coming out. We stand to make multi-millions. We expect to see the market fall. If it doesn't happen, well, you're going to see me carry it out on a stretcher probably.
Obviously, over the past week, we've had quite a dramatic pullback in the market. It's actually probably the worst 4 or 5 days in a long while. Yeah, we've been getting pissed on recently.
So I'm going live today, which means I'm going to be trading with real money.
Having introduced Letitia to this game, we've really gotten the bug into her. She's becoming a market junkie.
Yeah, stop.
Hello, Richard. Hey, it's Jim. I want to touch base with you on SanDisk. I'm sure you've been reading the papers. There's been a lot of down days with regards to the Nasdaq, the Dow, and of course our position with SanDisk. The last couple of days and weeks, there's been a lot of volatility in the market. Most of it's due to the credit crunch. There's still large banks out there coming out and announcing they have huge losses on their books. It's been scaring the markets and it's been scaring investors. I'm sure you've been reading the Wall Street Journal and been seeing the news. There has been a lot of volatility in the market. We do expect that to continue until not just are the market's down, the weather's bad, but also have a cold. So this will be very interesting talking to these guys. They'll probably think I'm on my deathbed here. Yeah, I've got a bit of a cold. But there's a big difference between a broker that sticks his head in the sand and doesn't talk to his clients when things are going bad, and someone that picks up the phone and speaks with them.
Rob, your favorite broker on Wall Street. What's going on, bud? Obviously, over the past week, we've had quite a dramatic pullback in the market. It's actually probably the worst 4 or 5 days in a long while on Wall Street. So we've been kind of dealing with that and kind of getting people on the phone and reassuring them that everything's going to be okay and let them know kind of what our plan is and what our target goal is. Yeah, I know you're not thrilled with the performance, and I'll be the first one to stand tall and take the blame for that. Yeah, we've been getting pissed on recently. So what I want to do is just reassure you that no one's lost any confidence around here. I've been wrong in the short term. Obviously, want to keep this thing on the table a little bit longer, and the time frame's extended itself probably till June. Next time we get a pop, I'm probably going to take a lot of the position off the table, book you some profits, and wait for another pullback.
We saw on that indicator that there was about
FXCM is one of the largest retail broker-dealers in the foreign exchange currency market, which just blew up over the last 4 or 5 years. Before this, foreign exchange was strictly the domain of hedge funds, banks, big broker-dealers like Goldman Sachs, and all the other big boys. With the advent of the internet, we brought in this whole new class of traders from the retail side to the point now where they are between 10 and 20% of the market.
I've been on the demo for a week now. It's been going pretty well. I made some mistakes. I think my main problem is more emotional. It's not so much which trades I get into, but I need to get a little bit more emotionally detached. I'm going to be meeting with Boris in a little bit. We're going to go over some of the trades I made on the demo, just to go over some of my mistakes, some of the things I did that were good.
I don't care. I can't believe you don't have a stop. This thing could move 100 points, 200 points against you in a blink of an eye. You're going into this thing without a stop? Letitia is a very capable student. She makes mistakes like everybody else, but the great thing about her, which is a good sign of any good trader, is willingness to adapt and improve. But remember, a #1 rule of trading is once you are in profit, you don't give the profit back, right?
Well, I traded down about 100 pips, so I figured I might as well get out now to minimize my losses.
With Letitia, first we had her learn the mechanics of what drives this market, and she's very, very good at that. Then we put her on a demo account. And now she's finally ready to trade real money. We'll see how well she does. Big day today, huh? Yeah. Money on the line. First time we're going to trade, and you couldn't have chosen a better day. Today is a huge day in the foreign currency markets because today is the Fed interest rate decision meeting. So the markets are waiting with bated breath to find out exactly how much the Fed is going to lower rates.
The question is more if they're going to cut the interest rates by 25 basis points or by 50. It's going to be a really market-moving announcement. There's potential to make a lot of money, to lose a lot of money as well. I've been on demo programs for weeks, if not months. This afternoon, I'm actually going to trade money. So to me, it's going to be a really important day.
We have the USDA crop report coming out, which comes out once a year, and it's a critical number. It's going to tell us what the estimate is for next year's crop. No, it's not. Nobody knows the number. Billions of dollars have been bet on this number. It's basically the culmination of the entire year. This number's make or break for us. The market is very, very jittery. We have set up a bearish position. We expect to see the market fall. If that happens, we stand to make multi-millions. If it doesn't happen, well, you're going to see me carry it out on a stretcher probably. No, we're going to get it over 2.5, 2.5, 4.5 on your puts. At 4.5 on your puts.
300. We've opened dramatically lower. There's terror in the air.
35 bid! Today is the crop report. People are going to probably be shoring up their positions, making sure they're going into what could be an upsetting day with a position they're comfortable with.
There's no telling. If we all had a crystal ball and we knew how the day was going to be, then we wouldn't be here anymore. We'd be retired on a beach.
This article is very important for you.
Seriously?
Murph, what'd you say? Did I lie to you?
No. We've got some cross currents going on between dry weather and Brazil. The market has been exploding in the last week and a half. We're scratching our heads. We don't really understand why. We're not here to fight the market or anything like that. But the fact is, the market can remain illogical a lot longer than I can remain solvent for. It's been a long couple days, very little sleep. We have set up our positions, and we're about to find out if we're right or wrong.
Hi, Brett Hickey, here to meet with Bob. I went down to the Nasdaq to meet with a friend of mine who runs the Canadian markets and meet with one of the senior vice presidents who runs the global markets as well.
Welcome to Nasdaq, for efficiency and transparency, ensure a fairer market.
Some of our portfolio companies trade on the OTC or over-the-counter network, and I want to see what the differences are being on the Nasdaq and what the minimum requirements are.
Clicks take place on average of 7 seconds or less.
The Nasdaq is a stock exchange. It's a digital stock exchange. They help you get compliant. They help you with regulation. All the different things that are required to be a public company, they help serve you. Hey, how are you, Jordan?
Good to see you, Brett.
Good to see you.
Glad you can make it.
Thanks.
To Bob McCooey.
Hey, I'm Bob. Brett Hickey.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Today is an educational opportunity to meet with Bob McCooey, who's the Senior Vice President of Capital Markets, and Jordan Sachs, who is in charge of business development for Canadian clients for the Nasdaq.
Let's go on a little tour.
They took me through the entire building, met with all their different divisions and floors.
These fellows work on what we refer to as the Market Intelligence Desk.
Learned a lot about what they provide for services, met with the people that actually provide support to the companies to really put things into basic English for a lot of the senior executives as to what's going on in the market and why.
You know, they want to have all the details. So whether it's the general counsel or the CFO, or in this case it's the IRO who's doing the intelligence gathering.
Learned a lot about how they help companies get publicity, get promotions. Some of our banks actually might keep private for now and then look to bring them to the Nasdaq to promote some additional liquidity. It's interesting because as you're talking about it, you can just see it. You see everybody go by in Times Square. It's really a great publicity medium in itself. You know, being able to get to the Nasdaq for a small bank would be a real differentiating factor. So as we're growing some of our small banks, you know, that's one of the things I wanted to find out about today is what are the minimum thresholds to get onto the Nasdaq.
Let's walk in and we can sit down and talk some more specifically about some of your questions.
Coming up next on Wall Street Warriors.
Market's rallied here. We got to sell stuff at such high prices that all that stuff is just absolutely collapsing. Tell me to relax.
Went down to the Nasdaq's media room where they actually do the closing bell.
We are very, very quiet right now as we all await.
You know, usually report days, either they get really busy because people precede the news with getting in or getting out of a position, or you could just sit there and be completely dormant for the entire day waiting for the news. I don't know how it's going to be today. It doesn't look like, if you look around the pit, nobody looks like they're checking numbers and looking up at the board, and we're basically unchanged right now.
Hey, Jan 30 puts.
Market's rallying up here a little bit. They trade just came in and bought some upside calls. Some people are bullish, some people are bearish. Waiting for this number. You got betting on both sides of this thing. What?
Uh-oh. Hey.
Trading, Larry. Bye. I'm going to head in there. We're going to be very busy here, and then we got the report coming out any minute.
All right, guys, so I just want to have a quick little year-end chat with you, go over what happened this past year. And
myself, Jimmy, Garrett, and Buck are kind of have a sit-down, a little powwow.
It's only natural, you know, it's the end of the year to get together and to discuss last year, what worked out well, what didn't work so good, all that type of stuff, any kind of constructive criticism he has.
Account-wise, you guys have killed it again. You've opened up a ton of accounts. I know that the whole SanDisk thing turned out to be a thorn in our sides. We've all gone through it. You know, in all the years I've been doing this, you know, I've taken a couple hits, and it tends to take the wind out of your sails a little bit.
Hindsight being crystal clear, we would have sold SanDisk at 58, 60 bucks, took profits, and ran. Obviously, it didn't work out as a fairy tale. You know, we were looking out for the client's best interest. You know, at the end of the day, we could easily sold it, racked up a bunch of commission, and moved on, but we were trying to hit the ball out of the park.
What do you guys think you need to improve on?
Probably diversify ourselves a little bit better. We definitely put all our eggs in one basket with SanDisk, and you know, with regards to SanDisk, we have a lot of clients in it and a lot of good guys. You know, so we continue to do our homework and make sure that's a good investment. A lot of these guys are long term, so you know they're going to be happy when that stock works out. Going forward, the new accounts, maybe branch out, have some more other exposure.
And we'll get back to basics, and that's me and Jimmy getting back on the phones, and especially me, and bringing in new business, and Jimmy raising new money, and you know, me and Garrett going toe-to-toe and opening accounts. And I know what I plan to do, and that's just get back to being focused on one thing, and that's the fundamentals of this business. It's getting leads, it's opening accounts, it's getting new business, it's raising money. I've got to get back to opening 10, 12 accounts a month, and you know, that's just hard work. That's just picking up the phone, making dials, and pitching all day.
Keep pounding the tables, guys. That's all I can tell you. You're doing everything
You know,
right.
we probably won't get stuck in a stock like this again. We'll probably try to do things a little bit differently, but you know, at the end of the day, we're still going to try to make our clients as much money as possible.
Going forward, new business, new business, new business, and if you guys keep on pressing, you know, obviously the numbers will eventually fall in our favor, and luck will come our way.
In this case, you could trail more like...
So I'm going live today, which means that I won't be trading on the demo anymore, and I'm going to be trading with real money. I think it's a pretty good day to go live, since this afternoon the Fed will be announcing whether they're cutting interest rates or not, and by how much.
There's a lot riding on this, because the market has a 50-50 bet, essentially, on whether they're going to cut interest rates by 25 basis points or 50 basis points.
I don't want to get into some crazy trade without having a thought-out plan beforehand.
The countdown begins, right? Ooh, they deliver a half-point cut. Wow. 50 basis points to 5.25%. So they're definitely being very proactive.
So I was actually long the year since the morning, but as soon as the announcement came out, I saw my P&L go up, flash up, up, up. And then I decided to get long the pound, and those two currencies just skyrocketed. So at the peak, I was up like $1,600, $1,700. That's within like, I don't know, 3 minutes.
It's exciting, isn't it? You're in the money, right? Are you trailing your stop?
Yeah. I started seeing a reversal, and I told myself, I can't lose this money I just made. So I got out. I got in here, got out here, and then because I saw it started reversing and trading the other way. I actually do really like foreign exchange. I love the fact that it combines fundamental and technical analysis. You get to learn about the politics and economics of different countries. It just feels very like open to the world, which is something that I really like.
Having introduced Letitia to this game, we've really gotten the bug into her. I already see the glint in her eye. She's becoming a market junkie.
I managed to keep about $1,200, which, I mean, to me, to make $1,200 in like 4 minutes is pretty incredible.
It's really one of the major reasons you become a public company. It's really important to be able to tell their story, and we want to help them tell their story.
I sat down with Bob and Jordan to learn some more specific details of what it takes for a company to go public on the Nasdaq and how it could apply to some of the companies that we have right now that we're invested in. What are the minimum thresholds for, let's say, a small commercial bank to get onto the Nasdaq?
There's a number of different criteria in terms of amount of equity that's inherent in the business, the earnings, making sure you meet corporate governance. We think it's very important to help companies moving from being private to being public and all the way through the life cycle of being a public company.
In today's world, with the benefits that the Nasdaq's providing, especially for a private equity fund like ours, being able to have good market data everywhere at your fingertips and all the companies that we're invested in is very valuable.
Yeah, one of the great things about Nasdaq is you'd be in the company of the vast majority of the regional and small community banks, since that's really the home of Nasdaq. About almost 25% of our companies are financials.
The number came out, it's a little bit lower than the market had expected. Market's rallied here. Not so bad for us, it's okay, because we got to sell stuff at such high prices that all that stuff is just absolutely collapsing in.
So this validated what we had been looking for in our forecast for oranges. And our fund ended up having a very good year.
There's a few clients in the cotton business that'll just say, buy them. You don't even have to say how many. That means buy them. It's one of those trades that everybody wants a piece of. There'll be guys screaming, sold 500, sold 500, sold another 500. So you'll rack up huge volume. And a big order, you make big commission on. That's the way it works.
It's been an exhausting couple of weeks, an exhausting year, but the crop's a little bit smaller than expected. We'll see how the Brazilian crop straightens out for next year. All in all, a pretty decent day.
Why don't we go into the studio and we can just show you a little about how that works.
There we go, this is it. Went down to the Nasdaq's media room where they actually do the closing bell and close out the stock market for the day. It's a signing, so one day hopefully this will be live. Sure. In the future, my hope is to continue to build our firm. We recently opened an office in Dallas. Our business has really grown, so I'm going to continue to be focused on finding good companies, increasing our deal flow, raising additional capital. Good. It's been about 4 years since I started this business, and it's great to look back and see what we've accomplished. When I left investment banking, a lot of people thought I was crazy. 26 years old, starting a private equity and venture capital firm, investing in these companies at my age. I took a risk. I borrowed money from friends to live and start this company, and we've become what I would now call finally a success story. We have $100 million under management. We've done it. People really can take the entrepreneurial route and make it. You can take the risk and it pays off. At the end of the day, look, I'm a guy from a small town in Canada, grew up with the dad as a high school teacher, and this is the American dream. The opportunities ahead in the world of private equity are really endless. You can do anything. You just have to be very focused, you commit to it, and you get it done. And that's what we set out to do. So I love the business, and hopefully it'll be good things to come.
So crop numbers behind us, and our fund ended up having a very good year. Gives me a chance now to take a well-needed break, and then I start over next year trying to figure out where the orange juice market is headed. Our fund is now over $50 million under management and growing. Tonight's going to be a great night. It's my 40th birthday. We're going to a club in the city. I invited everybody from the floor.
We're going to 4 o'clock in the morning, everybody.
I have had such a fortunate Wall Street career. I think I always have some involvement with markets. It is that kind of job. It is all-consuming at all times.
The floor is a very different place. I'm not working in the kind of environment that most would equate Wall Street with. You don't have to be a stuffed shirt to work down there. Everybody's just a little bit more down to earth and a little bit more accepting of everybody else. It's a different place than Wall Street. So as long as I have it, I'll keep going there.
It's been a little tough, adjusting to like professional life. It's a big change from life at NYU. So at this point, I just don't know if I'm ready to settle down for this specific job or if there's other fields that I do want to explore. When I look back, the past 6 months since graduation, I learned a lot and I was offered a lot of opportunities. I met some amazing people, very successful, but they've worked extremely hard to get to where they are today. Everyone on Wall Street wants to succeed. They're hungry, they want more always, and you have to be very ambitious. Something that's become obvious to me, things are not going to be given to you and you have to fight for it. Any job on Wall Street, it's crazy hours, you have to sacrifice a lot, and I just don't know if I'm ready to make that sacrifice yet.
When I look back at my last 3 years on Wall Street, I'm certainly happy I made the decision to come up from Jacksonville. I feel like I probably got more opportunities here to make business relationships that will service me for my entire career.
I think I'm a lot wiser, This punch in the gut is going to be a lesson learned down the road. I'll never turn my back on it. I still think it's going to work out. We gave it a short amount of time, 6 months, we thought our hopes and dreams were going to come true, and it didn't. But, we battled through it. I love Wall Street. There's nothing I'd rather be doing, and I plan on doing this for a while.
Can't afford a jet with 10 million. I need 100 million.
Oh, yeah. Little Wall Street warrior for you, buddy? Huh? How cool is that?
3 days.
3 dates in a row. 3 days.
3 dates in a row with 3 different girls.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
They were all 6.5, 7s, ranging from a 6 to a 7.
Oh no. I hope this dries.